All right, once more, good afternoon, everyone. Oh, this mic does not like me, but I'm going to get started nonetheless. Certainly, happy to see you this afternoon. We're going to get started nonetheless. We're expecting a few more of our participants and also persons to join us on our panel. But we're certainly happy for those who have made it here and made it here on time. Allow me to say special welcome to the CEO for the Trust for the Americas, Mrs. Linda Elman. Please give a big round of applause to her. And we also have Rodrigo, who is joining from the Trust as well. We also have some international Caribbean superstars in our midst. And so tomorrow we're going to have some entertainment. And I like soca and I like calypso. So we're going to see how we can mix the soca, the calypso, and the reggae together tomorrow. So please make big welcome our colleagues from Trinidad. So we have our colleagues from the Dia Lab there in Trinidad and Tobago. And then we also have in our midst Miss Nikita West and also... Why have I forgotten your name? I'm embarrassed. Regina. Nikita West and Regina also with the Trust, but based here locally. Our esteemed guests, we have Kamal, we have Nashana, and we also have Cheryl, who is here with us, and a number of our dear participants who you will get to meet later on. So our Dear Summit, this is our kind of third staging, but the first in-person staging, and we're super happy for that. We're going to be doing it over 2 days. Today is slightly intimate, where we give our dear participants an opportunity to interact and meet with local persons who can help them along their journey. And so we start with a panel discussion, and later on we'll move upstairs where we'll have that networking and that mingling so that they can tell you how to move your business forward and how to just connect some dots that you might have as well. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. Today we're kicking things off, and we're going to start by having some updates from our participants. Our dear participants over the years would have pitched and gotten grants of about $1,000 each time. And so one of the things that Kime and Rodrigo wants us to do and continues to ask us to do is to remain connected with our persons who would have come through the pitch. Don't just have them pitch and leave. And so we certainly like the fact that we've been able to stay in touch with them, and they've also stayed in touch with us. So we're going to start things off by getting some updates from them as it relates to where are they now, what it is that they've been doing, and how our relationship certainly has helped. Please put your hands together and help me welcome Adrian Watson from Honeybee Apiary, who will be making the first presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see some happy faces. Why everybody looks so sad? Come on, man. Look happier. Woo! Right. So, okay. So while I'm waiting for them to get my presentation up, how is everybody feeling? Good? Amazing? Wonderful. I'm one of the older foots of the DIA participants. So I'm just trying to get them to partner with me going forward with some of the progress on my business to date as I move into the next phase of my business. Honeybee's Apiary, whilst they're getting my presentation up, is a social enterprise using sustainable beekeeping practices to help combat climate change with the use of certain innovative technologies. Here we are. Next slide. Hello. Right, anyway, all right, let me use the screen above. So there are so this is what I was explaining to you. Honeybee's Apiary is a social enterprise using sustainable beekeeping practices in 3 ways. And before I get to that, there are some post updates. As you can see, since winning Dia's help, I would have gone on to win the race to zero campaign with the British Council, and I would have won the Go-Getter Award for the YWAP, YMOP USA project grant, which helped me further develop my idea. For it's not clicker. It's not. Okay. Right. So three of the prototypes that I was able to work on is at the bottom is an urban beekeeping concept where I'm producing honey and wax in the urban space. And then of course I prototyped a training module for wards of the state in transition from state care, persons who might have come in conflict with the law, who are in transition from the criminal justice system, and persons who are like me, who are from low-income families, who live in an urban context. And then at the top is the prototype using CNC routing and AutoCAD software to produce beehives, where you no longer have to depend on a carpenter to produce your beehives. And it helps to reduce the carbon footprint and the resource usage. So I'm working on SDG 12, 13, and 15, life on land, climate action, and sustainable consumption and production. So this is the prototype of the beehive that I worked on using bamboo hives, which sequesters 90 pounds of carbon each day. And so I was able to figure out what the cost of that was by borrowing somebody's CNC router. I need mine, so if you want to help me, come on, that's one of the areas. So the next, just before I move on to here, some of the other steps that I'd like to mention is that I'm going off to Germany literally next Tuesday for 8 months so that I can continue the prototyping process. So they're going to be helping me with my accounting process, my operational plan, my business strategy, my branding. Well, no, actually I got the branding from the Wiley thing, so which is another step. The DL process helps me to move on to. And so here is crucial. I want to get my own version of the beehives that I just showed produced, and of course I want to get the foundation side of my business registered, which is what I was talking to Rodrigo earlier about. So Dwayne, you're stuck with me for another few years. So you will not get to retire me, even though I'm being fossil, becoming a fossil in this process. But yeah, and I want to be able to put together the final version of my training manual to be more friendly towards persons who can't read, because in the process I found out that one of my participants, he couldn't read, and he found that the more picturesque parts of my prototype training module more friendly. So that's how he was able to get through the training module. So I, through Dwayne, I'll be in touch with the Trust for the Americas when I come back from Germany. Thank you very much. That's it from me. Dwayne.
Thanks so much, Adrian. And Adrian, I wonder how much of the CNC connected and committed to their mission. Someone else who is connected and committed to their mission is the CEO for the Trust for the Americas, Mrs. Linda Edelman, and Mrs. Linda Edelman certainly has expanded this program since her time at the Trust. Why she comes, let me just mention that the Trust has expanded its operation to 24 countries and created over 1,000 alliances under her leadership. 28 now. All right. Big round of applause again. So it's super leadership that causes that, and we're glad for that kind of expansion, because when others come into the DIA space and into the space nonetheless, whether DIA or otherwise, we benefit. Recently, the collaboration with Trinidad certainly helped to just expand, and we're able to bounce ideas. And we had some sessions earlier in the year where all participants and participants from Trinidad were in the same room, and those things help the participants to just cement ideas and so on. So let me not eat up much more time and make way for Mrs. Edelman. Another big round of applause for her, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here. It's been about 2.5 years since I've been to Jamaica, and I'm really looking forward to coming back. I'm so glad to see some old friends in the audience, many who I've known for many years. He looks different in person than he does on camera, so it's good to see you. Yeah. Even more handsome in person. Also wanted to recognize members of the team who are here today. Rodrigo, who joined me from Washington, D.C., Nikita, and a special recognition of Regina. I can sing, but I'm not singing. We're going to sing. Here at the Trust, we spend a lot of our time figuring out new ways in which we can achieve our mission, which is helping young people in the Caribbean and Latin America have a brighter future. And we think innovation is
I'm seeing levels, but I'm not getting
that's one of
audio.
the reasons we came up with a program called DIA, which has been around for 7 years now.
I'm seeing levels,
It's
but I'm not.
democratizing innovation in the Americas. And what we do, as a lot of you guys know, if you've been in the DIA program, is we provide collaborative space, technology, and content training, and we help young people take ideas and turn them into businesses, market opportunities. And we're really excited about the fact that we've been in Jamaica was the second lab, started in 2016. We're now in 7 countries, and 15,000 young people have participated in this program. So we're really happy about what we're doing here. I wanted to say just a quick thing about training programs. I know you guys there are, some of you particularly up in the back, you're thinking, I'm in a training program, what am I going to learn? Sometimes it seems like you wonder, is it a good use of our time? And I wanted to give you just a personal example of impact of a training program on my life. I went to a program at my alma mater at the university that I studied at a few years ago, and the purpose of the training was to teach people how to take their organizations to the next level. And what we really wanted to do is we wanted to scale the Trust. As Dwayne was saying, we've been growing over the years, and we were in 28 countries then, a lot fewer, and we wanted to grow the organization. And one of the teachers of the training program said to us, if you want to scale your operations, you have to come up with what he called a big, hairy, audacious goal. Come up with a goal that's almost impossible to achieve. It's not quite impossible, and see if you can get there, because even if you can't get there, you're going to get farther than you would have without that goal. So I came up with this crazy goal. We had trained about a little over 2 million people by then, and I thought, you know what, we're coming up in 5 years, we're going to celebrate our 25th anniversary. I'd like to see if we can double the number of people trained in the past 20 years in 5. And I went to the team with that, and they were not happy. Rodrigo might remember that. They thought I was absolutely nuts. But you know what? 2.5 years in, we are at 4.2 million people, and we're going to get to 5 million before the end of next year, which is about 2 years early. And I wanted to point that out because that's an example of one of the things that I hadn't gone to that training program. I would never have looked at this role. I would never have made these steps. I wouldn't have connected with the right people. So I hope that you guys can take, really pay attention to what the the speakers are telling you that a great lineup here to share with you. And I think you're going to learn a lot. You're going to make connections that are going to stay with you forever. The story about information. The secretary, my former boss, who sat in a cubicle in front of me, ended up becoming the first lady of Columbia. So also be nice to everybody. You never know when we're going to see them again. So last but not least, I would like to close by thanking everybody who's made this program possible. Relay has been a terrific partner for 6 years now. Institute of Law and Economics, we're also very, very pleased to work with your very, and also with the University of the Commonwealth here. It's really lovely. We're working with you more closely. We also work with the Jamaican Ministry of Education and Information. And of course, this program would be possible without the continued support of the City Foundation and of course the organization of every state. I know that working together, we're going to continue to achieve great things, and I look forward to the rest of the day.
All right, thank you so very much, Linda. And while Linda is making her way down, there was a gentleman in the early years who was walking around with Linda when she came to Jamaica. Anybody remember the name of that gentleman? There was another gentleman who was hanging out with him. Adrian, I don't know if you remember the gentleman who was hanging out. The brain. Okay, all right, no problem. Javier Monterosa, and so we want to say big congrats to Javier, but also Linda, we have a special prize for you. That's why you're standing right to the side of me. So, yeah, surprise. It's not your birthday, but we want to give you a gift nonetheless. So, Laura, if you don't mind, joining us as well. Where is Denise? Rodrigo? Do we want Rodrigo in our picture? It's not his birthday. Rodrigo, you can come on down. Regina, please. And it's your birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Linda is asking if she can open her gift. No. Yes, please open it. In Jamaica, we say we don't want no pussy bag. And so, all right, here we go. Photos being taken. I hope she likes it and have a big smile when you take that picture. Yeah, Nikita, I think she likes it. Deal. Great stuff. Another big round of applause for Linda, the team at the Trust for the Americas, and all the work that they continue to do and the trust that they put in us. We are all about, connecting persons to different ecosystems and making sure that our participants are connected for the next step. And so next week, we'll be celebrating as Global Entrepreneurship Week. We've already been talking, and Sherry is already negotiating that next year when we do this, it should land in Global Entrepreneurship Week. And so to give us some more information about, Global Entrepreneurship Week or the Global Entrepreneurship Network, we have Ms. Cheryl Stewart. Please put your hands together and make her feel very, very welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel at home. I was warmly greeted at the front by many persons, so it's nice to come home, right? And I just want to say, entrepreneurship is a journey. You're always doing, you're always changing, you're always reviewing. So pretty much, the DIA program is one step in the journey, and it is never, ever easy. So just want to say congratulations to you for staying the course thus far, But you know, for every level, there's another level, right? So it never gets any easier, right? So just wanted to share with you quickly about the Global Entrepreneurship Network, of which the INEAJ has been representing us between, especially from Venice, who keeps in contact for Dwayne. And just to note that, just to say special recognition to one of my board directors who is sitting in the room, Lady Godiva Golden. So, Global Entrepreneurship Network is basically connecting people and connecting organizations. So Cheryl Stewart can be a member of GEN, INEAJ can be a member of GEN. Okay? Our vision is one local entrepreneurship ecosystem. Thus, I stepped into the group negotiating with Linda and Wayne about next year, because we all collaborate. Because while sitting there, can't remember, is it Space? Enter the Entrepreneurship World Cup, which is also a part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network suite of programs. So we connect, we support our entrepreneurs and our ecosystem players. So our country is a small country, we're a big heart, so pretty much we have to look beyond our borders. So we have to be globally competitive, thus our mission. We started in 2007 celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. And there are 4 pillars which we have. Understand, celebrate, which is GEW, support, and connect. I won't get into the details, but just pretty much telling you that. Oops. So this November 14 to 20, we celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week, 15 years. The Junior Achievement Jamaica is our national host, so they lead on this program. But I have to be in everything. So I'm here talking to you about it. We celebrate in 200 countries across the world this time. And what it is, energy goes where energy flows. So we're all celebrating, we're all gonna feel the fever, right? On the 13th of November, I'm not gonna go through all of them, I'm just picking out one. We start, even though it's the 14th, the Young Entrepreneurs Association will have their Success Summit at the Jamaica Conference Center. All are invited. And once you see just the place, without saying by invitation, anybody can turn up at the events, right? We have our official GEW launch, which is also a soft launch of Gen Jamaica on Tuesday at the TIC UTEC 237 Old Hope Road. The minister will speak and we will share with Jamaica our impression of the entrepreneurship ecosystem map. We're starting the conversation because we want to make sure people, organizations are captured and represented as they ought to. One of our major players is the Heartrust NTA. You may see just a few activities here, but there are a whole slew of activities that are being done across the world. I want to recognize the high schools who are part of the GEW celebrations by having activities within their own schools. So the Godfrey Stewart High in Westmoreland, Herbert Morrison Technical High in Montego Bay, and still we being the Jamaican we are, some people are still just coming on, so we don't have all the information. And I must say, Global Shapers will be having an event on, I have to big up my board director, on the 17th of November, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening. So there are a lot of events we are having where you can participate. Thursday is Social Enterprise Day, Mr. B. Social Enterprise Day is Thursday, and we are having a dialogue online, and you need to be online to participate. Women's Entrepreneurship Day is also on Friday of next week, but we have not yet finalized what we're doing. It will be an online event, so we invite you to just join. How can you get involved? So you go to gew.co/Jamaica. You will see all our activities. But you go to the website, how to get involved, right? There's an ideas book which gives ideas as to what you can do in terms of an activity. And we have 4 themes this year: policy, ecosystem, education, and inclusion. So that's a sample of what the activities look like in the book, and it's listed under each thematic area. So it's kind of easy to quickly put something together. Now, this is how you will find the activities per country. You go to activities, you highlight the activities list, and you select Jamaica. You will find it, all right? So just really want to say the purpose of Global Entrepreneurship Week is to collaborate, engage, and inspire. Let's leave an indelible mark for 15 years GEW on all Jamaican people, especially our youth in entrepreneurship. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. Really great resource person from ever since we have met, and so certainly happy to stay in contact with you. And I have to say thanks to Prof, of course, and I'm happy I'm able to stay in contact with you, even through Venice. I got the shade. Cheryl, you sent me a voice note. Boy, it was so hard to find. But no, Cheryl, we really and truly thank you for staying with us and also helping us and helping our young people to be a part of these great initiatives. Cheryl mentioned that Women Entrepreneurship Day is a particular date. Anybody remember that date? Friday the 18th. All right, Chevelle, we have a prize for you. Benice is out the door, but when Benice, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna get you a prize. Which other event on that calendar you think you'd want to be able to attend? It's a hard one. Social Enterprise Online Forum here. Adrian, I know you're big in terms of social enterprise. So, Venice, can you please give Chevelle a prize? She got that answer correct. And while she's doing that, let me invite the members of the panel to join me on stage. And so first, I want to call up the moderator for that section, Miss Nakita West. Please put your hands together for her. Someone who I've known way back as well. And when we woke up the other day, Regina said, "Wait, how old are you? Because everybody know you." So I didn't tell her my true age. I thought I was 24.
How many emails you had for me?
Oh, well. Let's not even start to count. Nakita that West at. Nakita that West at. It's been a while. It's been a while. But Nakita, certainly, we're very happy that you are leading this panel. And joining Nakita, we have Professor Rosalie Hamilton. Please make her feel super, super welcome. Lady in red. No, not, you know, I thought we were friends. First, tell the truth. Yeah, Cheryl tells the truth. Actually, I buck up Cheryl at the gym. Sorry. And I was lifting. So, what kind of little bit of waste I tell? She is a true friend. She tells you the truth. So I feel shame and I had to add some more to it and struggle throughout the rest of it. But that's Cheryl for you. We have also with us Mr. Kamal Brown. Please put your hands together and welcome him. And Nakita will tell you more about these persons as soon as she's, as soon as they're all here. And we have with us Nashana Lala. Someone who's been helping us. She has served as judge twice so far in our competition. And then we have somebody who will be joining us later on, Randy McLaren. He's coming from a management meeting to join us here, so he'll sit on Prof's side when he gets here. Nakita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. So I'm just, going to give a brief introduction. We have some wonderful, wonderful people here. I have known all of them in my different lives. Let me say that. I've had interactions with everyone, and I'm so happy that I am here to discuss a very important topic with them. You guys look lovely, by the way. So I'm going to start off with Kemal, the lone gentleman here. Kemal is the founder and chairman of the Digital Global Group of Companies. I hope you noticed his shirt, by the way. It is branded, even though it's a denim shirt, just to show the trend and how important marketing is. So he has several subsidiaries spanning communications, real estate, venture capital, technology, and finance. Through his principled approach to leadership, strategy, finance, and innovation, he has created a firm footing for expansion for multi-million-dollar companies which have unlocked value regionally. He is a speaker and consultant on communications, business, digital transformation, management, and leadership, and has delivered over 100 presentations. So consider yourself very lucky across 4 continents. Wow, he has so many other things here, and I'm just going to probably choose a couple. So he's a part of the Global Shapers community in Switzerland. He is a part of the private sector organization. Much more about Kemal, so please make him welcome. To my left is Professor Rosalie Hamilton. She is the CEO of the Lascaux Foundation since June 2018 and the chair of the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance since 2019. She was vice president of the University of Technology Jamaica between 2008 to 2018 and was awarded a professorship in the Scotiabank Chair in Entrepreneurship and Development. What a big deal though. Wow. She established and led the MSME Alliance, a network of small business organizations for 10 years. She also established the Institute of Law and Economics. You guys know that place? Oh wow, so you really should be thanking her because she's why you're here. And she has worked as a consultant and a public educator on trade, governance, gender, and other areas of economic and social development. She has taught at the graduate and undergraduate levels in Jamaica and the United States. And so much more about Rosie. Is that okay? And then the lady to my right, Nashana Lala. She has been actively involved in volunteerism, both locally and internationally, for more than 20 years. But she just look like 20 still, I don't know what to say. She She really does. As a member of the Geneva, Switzerland-based World Council of the Young Women's Christian Association, she has traveled extensively promoting the economic and social empowerment of young women and their families across the world. Nashana is also an accomplished communications manager with over 16 years of experience working in media and communications. She was previously the lifestyle editor of the Gleaner Company and also served as entertainment editor responsible for the daily entertainment offering the Gleaner and the Star before joining Honeybun in 2019. So you know that news fancy section in the Gleaner? Is she responsible for it? Hi, Cheese, are they here? Well, that's Nashana for you. And of course, Randy will join us. I'll introduce him when he comes. You guys probably know him. I'm so surprised you don't have your brush your mask and your brush your bag because I know you guys have supported Randy. So let's begin this wonderful discussion. Again, this discussion is about you, and I want to just big up the people welcome you. The audience on YouTube, welcome. This is Jamaica, so we always say big up on yourself, big up, welcome, welcome. They are joining us, guys, so it's not just local, we are international. Everything that we do, we operate in the Latin America and the Caribbean, so we want to stream this information to them as well so that they can benefit just like you are. So we're going to start the conversation, and I actually wanted to start with Nashana. Now, I wanted to know a little bit about the Honeybun Foundation and what it is that you guys do in supporting entrepreneurs.
Okay, thank you, Nikita. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so the Honeybun Foundation, we're pretty young. We were incorporated in 2019. And the mission of the Honeybun Foundation is creating business models for SME and the creative industry to become transformational industries for Jamaica's economy. What that means is that we look at the current ecosystem and see what are the processes that we can put in place to make that ecosystem work better for youth entrepreneurs. And so, if Nikita will allow me, to date we have completed 3 models so far. The first is a national training calendar. All of you here who are entrepreneurs, you or your members of your staff would need training in certain areas. So what we've done the legwork for you. So we've gone to all the various training organizations and gotten the training and put it together on one central platform. So if you need training, for example, in marketing or maybe in finance, you would go DJ or Exim Bank, for example. If it's that you need to become a member of a support organization such as JMEA or maybe GEN, it shows you that. And it's built in that it takes you directly to those organizations. And the final model that we have is our advisory committee model. Now, Chabelle, who is in the audience, she's one of the SMEs who have gotten a team of advisors from us. What it is that each qualified SME is given 3 advisors. So not 1, not 2, but 3. So that you're exposed to a larger knowledge, not just someone who has expertise in finance or say marketing, but you have the 3 advisors. They work with you for a year, completing a template that we've developed, which is called your strategic roadmap. What that is essentially is your 1-year strategic plan. And so you meet with your advisors every month or every other month, and you have an overarching objective. This is what I want to achieve within the month. This is how I'm going to achieve it. And you meet with your advisors for 12 months, and you work with them to achieve that. So far, that is what the Honeybun Foundation has available for you entrepreneurs who are here today.
Wow, that's excellent. Kemal, when you started out, what existed compared to what we just heard from Nashana?
Okay, thank you, Nikita. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And let me also say, even though Randy just came, I think I see him out of the corner of my eye. I am taking possession of all these lovely women on the stage. And so, I wanted to be the only man up here and come put himself in the mix, but, the single thorn among the roses. Now I guess it's two of us. All right, so thank you for the question, Nikita. So in terms of the ecosystem, domestically, there was actually some action going on. I remember in terms of when I started DGM, let me start there, because I've been an entrepreneur since like age 5, selling marbles and all of these crazy things. That's not a story for another day. But I don't remember the name of the program, but I know that it was the Caribbean Mobile Innovation Program, I think under the IDB at the time. And it was just as Mark Zuckerberg had bought WhatsApp for I think 19 billion. And let me tell you, man, everybody was building an app. Everybody was doing something. Oh, this app does this and blah, blah, blah. And there's lots of competitions and so on and so forth. So there was a semblance of an ecosystem early on. I think it was more exploratory at the time. In terms of the resources, there weren't necessarily as many programs. Clearly, things have developed over time where we have so many different programs, so many different partnerships, so many different initiatives like JET, like Alt, like DIA, all the different entities coming together to create a wider and deeper ecosystem. But definitely there was some movement. I think what has happened and what has evolved is we've moved from more of an ideation model to more of an implementation model. Back then it was just the idea that was really driving a lot of engagement. You get into our program because you have a cool idea. No, you kind of have to prove it. You kind of have to execute. You kind of have a substantive business model that actually makes money, which is what businesses are really about, Clearly, social good and all that jazz, but you can't pay people with social good. And so you have to generate revenue and, of course, profitability. So I think, the landscape has changed somewhat, but I do see, that there were embers, at least when I started in 2016. Well, I started looking at things around 2014. Digital was incorporated 2016, this brand, because clearly we have a group of companies. And so, yeah, I think, we've only seen a deepening and expansion of the entrepreneur ecosystem locally.
Thanks, Kamal. So now, Rosie, tell us about what the Lasco Chain Foundation does as part of this ecosystem.
All right, so we've decided that we wanted to not just deal with entrepreneurship, but to tackle entrepreneurship in the larger national landscape of growing and worsening crime. So we decided we wanted to focus on at-risk youths, and that's our focus. And so we are in the most vulnerable communities, and we try to identify youngsters, especially who don't want to be part of a life of crime. Stakes are high because, of course, they want to earn something comparable to what they can make in other kinds of illegal activities. But the truth is, the only real alternative to those kinds of scales of income in the illegal market is to be a first-class entrepreneur, right? Because you can match and do even more. So we certainly provide that I should say mindset, that create that shift in mindset that says, listen, whatever you're going after in the illegal activity, it's possible to do it legally if you can be part of this framework, mental framework, ecosystem that is supportive of legal entrepreneurship. And so that's what we do. And that was the motivation, because we're also working with youngsters in the school-age kids, in the high school, because we're trying to shift their behavior from a life of crime to focusing on building the kinds of requisites that's needed to survive and thrive in a modern world. Make sure you pass your exams at school, make sure that you stay away from those criminal activities. But the entrepreneurship thing is a flagship program for our chairman, Laschin, a serious entrepreneur himself. And so he actively engages with the groups when we bring them on to try to motivate them, remind them that he started life out of the back of a vehicle, and he's created what he's created today.
Well, thank you for him and for what he's creating with the Laskochin Foundation and that platform and dealing and, really and truly trying to guide our young people who are at risk. Because we know what the system or the crime system is like in Jamaica, and I like that it's a legal, viable option that we're showcasing to our young children in particular, so that as they're going through the system, that will have other attractive means. This one is there as an option as well.
Absolutely, and I should add that our program is a kind of learn as you earn kind of program, so that they're not just being trained, but they're simultaneously we're creating an environment in which they can earn.
Wonderful.
So we're earning as they're learning.
Wonderful. Tackling the challenge of poverty as well. So Randy has joined us, and we waited, Randy, to kind of introduce you, because even though everyone knows Randy, because we wear his brand, I just wanted you guys to be a little bit more acquainted as he comes. So Randy, formally apparently, because we just heard, because now I give Dwayne Guts a nickname now, because Randy's now Randy Mac, formerly McLaren, is an award-winning high-impact performance poet. And that's how I know Randy, actually. Social entrepreneur and creative activist from the One Love Island of... From the One Love Island of... From the One Love Island of... Wow. It's Jamaica YouTube. Yes, it's the love, and it's a big deal. We feel good about ourselves, and I love that he has that in his bio. It's very important. He is an alumnus of the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative and a World Economic Forum Global Shaper attached to the Kingston Hub. I think you're a part of that too, aren't you? Boy, these people, The recipient of the Prime Minister's Youth Award for Excellence in Arts and Culture, as well as the Commonwealth Youth Award for Excellence in Development Work. He has also served as the Jamaica Youth Ambassador for Culture, Education, and Vulnerable Youth. Randy is a proud former head boy and deputy head boy of Excelsior High School and Wolmer's Boys School, respectively. I also know Randy from UStat. We have to put that in. He's a UStat ambassador. Okay, so welcome, Randy. I actually wanted... So, Randy, we started the conversation about, how it is, or what does the ecosystem look like, how it is that Honey Bun is functioning in the space and Laskochin Foundation. And Kemal kind of told us about what it was like when he started. And I wanted to kind of understand the same for you. We remember when Brescia was starting and where Brescia is now. What was it like for you?
Well, let's start from the beginning. Good afternoon, everyone. So we started in 2015. Myself and my brother would have started a company. Mr. Chin started in a car back or in a vehicle. We started on our veranda in East Kingston. That's where the idea was born to start Brescia. And now we're in a 850 square feet facility in Portmore. And we started on a veranda with one machine and big dreams. Now we're at the point where we need to get at least 5,000 square feet or more to expand, just based on the demand and love that we've received since starting Brescia in 2015. But back then, what I can remember clearly is that from a funding standpoint, it was a little rough to get funding. Maybe rough is an understatement. What I know now, looking back 7.5 years ago, is that when you're starting a business, don't look to the commercial banks for the funding. Now, when you're 7.5 years older, I find that they're rushing, they're lining up now. They're more willing, let me put it that way. And we understand what different stakeholders in the sector, what they're about. And banks have to manage their risks and so forth. But then versus now, what I know now, and I think Kemal was alluding to it, you have more programs. There's now a venture capital system that's been built out. So I find that more people are willing to actually invest in startups, which is very good. We didn't have those, that kind of leverage at the time. Two little boy on them veranda, two young people, say them I go sew bags. Jamaica are known for that. After I know liquor, I know track and field. You get what I'm saying? It was different. But then we started because we were importing all the bags that we were wearing in 2015. And we wanted to change that. Now we are sending people to work in Jamaica and overseas in a product made in Jamaica. That's a difference on the landscape already. That we've been able to make a dent in that space is a difference. Another thing, thank you, that's a big deal for us, putting Jamaicans to work and providing the skills. Another point that I wanted to make is that COVID showed us that we need to be resilient as a people, as a nation. Now everybody dig up them granny sewing machine in COVID, because all who couldn't sew start sew for make mask and go hustle downtown and wherever else at the workplace. Now we're big on focusing on the reason and the quality, the sewing skill, and just skills in general is very important. So the work that the foundations do, very important, right? And so as a company, we're big on empowering our people to show them that, hey, you see this thing that you're sewing, this thing that you're handcrafting, there's great value to it. Now, 7.5 years ago, perhaps the attention wasn't so much on our skilled workers, but we are here to change that, and it's a part of what we want to do. So in general, I think there's more focus on skills, right? I think there's been an ecosystem that's been worked on that we didn't have then, and now we find that it's much easier for us to go and knock on a door and say that, hey, we want a smalls, we want a loan, what we can do for we. You know, so that's just a few of the things that I'll put in terms of the differences then and now.
Thanks so much, Randy. So, young entrepreneurs, you hear where he started, you hear where Kemal same start from 5, that's good, but it's important to know that, you know, where you are now doesn't mean that in the next 5, 10 years, you won't be where you're seeing yourself, right? These young men are showing you that it's possible. And then these foundations are providing the resources and the opportunities for you to really soar and thrive in this space. And I really want to just acknowledge what ILE, OAS, and the Trust for the Americas are doing, because we are creating an opportunity for us to connect and to provide resources for you guys so that you can build your businesses. Now, so we kind of talk about the ecosystem a little. And I wanted to talk to Randy and Kemal a little bit more about, is there anything that you would have learned or would have done differently? Now that you're looking back 2016, can't do the math, 2015, you know, looking back, is there anything that you would have done different, especially as our young entrepreneurs? Some are, you know, young in their businesses, some are a little further. Anything to avoid, anything to really, you know, you have to do. You say resilience is one, Randy, and I know Kemal always talk about taking risk as well. Is there anything that you can provide, any insights you can provide to them?
What I'll say is perhaps not things that I would have done differently, but I'll give you a mixed bag. One of the very important things for me then and now is this whole point of collaboration. I find that too often in this country and as a people, we try to go things alone because we want the praise for ourselves and we want pat ourselves, you know, and say, yeah, I feel me think that I did it. I am, and if it ever happens in my life where I become a millionaire or a billionaire or something like that,
speak it into
being. Amen, I claim it. I'm not self-made, and I don't subscribe to that notion. There are too many people who've contributed to where I am right now and where Brescia is right now. The tremendous support that we get from Jamaicans at home and abroad, the tremendous people that make the products. Nakita, me can't sew. Say for me alone, no bag would make. You understand? My brother Davian started as a designer, still the lead designer. Now we have over 20 persons who have joined him to make the products, right? So the point I'm making is, and we have it as a core value at Brescia, collaborate to be great. Very important. Collaborate to be great. Yeah? Find people, whether it be in your circles as friends or colleagues, friends from university, in your community, you know, in the foundation, the programs. So if numbers are not your thing, you need somebody who understands those things. Bring them on the team. You might have to give up like shares and like equity, but you link Prof and say, Prof, can you join my team? I need an advisor. Get a mentor. Get some advisors. So that's definitely something I'll mention. Collaborate to be great. Find people for mentorship. Find people who have gone the road already, who can then show you some ways. Some things not to do, some things that you should ensure that you do. Another point I'll make, and perhaps a lesson for me and for us, is I would have started putting in better accounting systems earlier, right? We had books with stuff, but some of those books we can't find now. No, I would have maybe gone more digital from earlier in terms of using a QuickBooks and stuff like that to capture information. Digitalization, which is a field that you're in, Kemal, is very important, and perhaps that's something I definitely encourage, right? And to use up social media. Use up social media. When we started out by Rockfort, we're from St. Thomas, but when we started in Rockfort, I remember, Prof, using my phone, hang up the bags on the wall or on the gate to take the photos. And how we actually started this company is that I took the photos when Davian would have finished making the product, posted them on Instagram and Facebook. We got our first 3 orders. This is literally how we started it. And we took 50% deposit from each customer, and we used the money to go downtown and go buy the material, buy the thread, buy the whatever else we would have needed to make the bag. And that's literally how Brescia started. We never have millions. We never have no whole heap of money on a rich uncle or cousin or whatever the case was. Point I want to make, start where you are.
Absolutely. I just want to jump in and say amen, amen to your first point. And of course, to big you up for the tremendous work you've done. But to say that it is such an important point, this idea of working together, a big, big factor is we don't trust each other. And that, when you think about the landscape that we're in and where we're coming from, this distrust of each other is almost systemic. And so I want to just underscore what you said and to say that we have to consciously make an effort to build the collaborations. And even if you get burned, keep going, keep trying.
Burn and learn.
I was just about to say, I'm sure you get enough burn.
Oh, yeah, and you learn along the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you keep going, right?
Well, stitch burn too.
Because the truth is that, we're not all perfect. We're going to make mistakes, and people are going to let you down. But the idea of coming together and working together, connect those dots, connect the talents that we all have, that is what will make a powerful enterprise and a powerful entrepreneur. I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, so to piggyback on Randy's point, well, I'll speak a bit about DGM's genesis. So I started DGM in 2016. We started with literally our first project. What happened, I started the company, and I was kind of pitching to a couple people, and we got our first logo project. At the time, this was around 45,000 Jamaican dollars. I took half. I don't design, similar to you. I don't do, graphic design. I took half of the capital, paid the design. I took the other half. I registered the business. That same person worked for me for about 5 years subsequent. And I like to think, that in the beginning of DGM, I was really, really keen on finances, right? I mean, we didn't buy company shirts with fancy branding till like the 9th month. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, the first thing you do, you try and get some money, you run out, you get a shirt, you get your logo, we didn't have a website, any of that stuff. What I was selling in the beginning were really ideas and dreams and really, selling concepts to persons that I would then fulfill on the back end. But to address the question directly, people, right? The thing that I would have changed or the lesson that I learned is to get high quality people as quickly as possible, because it affects the ability of your business to scale. I mean, I have around 30 staff now, all right? And I can tell you, I can remember instances in the company when things were way easier. I'm like, I'm not stressed out, we had more business things going on, and it was the people that I had around at the time. And I can remember sometimes, man, oh my God. It's like me pushing a boulder up this steep hill, right? And it's just like, and you feel alone, and it's really, 1, investing in your people, and 2, finding great people. Now, it's one of the hardest things to do. Jim Collins, who is an author, he speaks about the fact that good to great, right? And you have to have the right people in the right seats. You might have somebody on your team, but you have them in the wrong position. It's like football too, right? You can't have a goalie playing forward. You're going to lose, So the point is really finding great people. I've found that, even right now, we're in the process of expanding our team, especially the management core. Just hired a great, and it's funny, had a CFO previously, big company, big accolades, right? Did not work out, right? And I found another CFO, and it's just a complete cultural fit. She's running and I'm running. It was like the person was pulling the legs from one number before, right? So it's not only about finding great people, finding people that are aligned with your vision and your mission, right? Your company is your company. You must listen to advice clearly. You have to take advice from those wiser than you. It's very important to have mentorship. And to be very honest with you, I didn't have a lot of mentors around me at the moment. And I don't see that, when I started, I don't see that as an impediment. Let me tell you why. They might not have been around me, but I use the internet. I literally listen to Les Brown every morning. I'm not kidding. I can speak his speeches back to you. I listen to him every morning to align my mind, to have the right mindset, which is beyond anything. Skills are very, very important, but if you don't have the right attitude, you cannot win. All right? You cannot win without the right attitude. So I literally have found mentors in books, online resources. I watch YouTube till a week, and my background is political science. What am I doing running a media company? What am I doing running a real estate company? I'm not an engineer. What am I doing running a finance company, a venture capital? I don't know. I'm not supposed to know anything about any of these things. But I believe that once you have an idea, you have self-belief, building your self-esteem and your confidence in yourself is so important as an entrepreneur. And just understanding the mindset is the most important thing, because you literally are limitless, but you have to believe it first. And once you have that belief, you then go out and you find the tidbits, the knowledge, you find the resources, you find the help, you do it. And I can tell you, one of the most important things is to, now a lot of people would not say I'm a humble person, right? But I have intellectual humility. I was telling Linda a story about when I met Michael Leachin, right? For the first time. And I remember going into the room, I watched every video on him. I read 10 articles. I looked him up on LinkedIn. I did the whole, I almost analyzed the guy DNA to how deep I was going. And at this time, I was a relatively successful entrepreneur. I had like 15 people. I was a US millionaire at that point. I was a relatively successful entrepreneur. But then I said to myself, well, this is a billionaire. He's 1,000 times at least more wealthy than I am. 1,000 times more knowledgeable. There must be some gap, something. So I learned everything. I went into the room the day, and he started asking questions. All of the questions were from the videos. So you know who was teacher's pet, right? Answered 2 questions correctly. The last question, he says, what's the answer? And I raised my hand again. He said, really, you again? You didn't have to answer it? I was like, yeah, man. He said, what's the answer? I said, no, boss. You have to give me something for this one, right? And I said, he's like, what do you want? I said, I want what this person did for you. Right? Because remember, I know his story. So the biggest smile come across his face now. He's like, this guy really knows me. Immediately he says, what's the answer? I told him the answer. He's, we jump up, we hug up. They're picture taking in the session, whatever. And he's like, tell everybody what the person did for me. And he's like he gave you your first helicopter ride. All because I took 2-3 hours of my time to be humble enough to understand I was going to be in a room with a giant, to ensure that I would have a deep impact in that room. He left that room knowing my name, not anyone else's name. And it was very successful entrepreneurs in the room. Right? And I got a free helicopter ride, which I'm still supposed to redeem. So that's what the guy did for Leachin. So I'm me a helicopter ride. But the point is, people are everything. And in the creative industry, let me tell you something, I'll be very transparent and honest. I didn't get it right a lot of the times. You hire bad people. Sometimes you're the bad guy on the field, right? Sometimes it's really like that. You have value misalignment. Never beat yourself up about these things. Do things amicably. Remain key and clear on your values. And Digital's values are digital, just like the company. D for dedication, I for integrity, G for gratitude, I for innovation, T for teamwork and trust, and A for attention to detail. So our values spell out, the company's first name spells out the values of our company. But I really, really, really want to implore you to find good people that are aligned with you, because I can tell you, if you do, your business will accelerate faster, and you can definitely achieve much more. There's an old African proverb that says, alone you can only go so far, but together we can run much further. And it's a very, very true thing in business. So that's the one. There's many. Clearly there's clearly finance. If you're not managing your money, listen, you must be willing to look poor to get to the wealthy level. I remember there was a year when I didn't buy any new clothes, not one shirt. For the gentlemen in the room, as I know, honey, no dates at that expensive place. Ice cream. You're either on the mission or you're not on the mission. Where the pan? But now, it's a little different. Because I sacrificed. And that's one of the main things, delayed gratification. It's still gratification. Matter of fact, it's more gratifying later down. Because you can remember where you're coming from and where you're going and where you are. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you, we really started like no rich uncle, no rich auntie, nobody to plug me in. Matter of fact, I don't even have the high school plug, because I went to school in Miami. I don't have
a bigger plug, that man.
No, man. I tell you, it's not a bigger plug. It's not a bigger plug.
It sounds
Because when you're in Jamaica and you're going,
Hold on.
When you're going to pitches, and the man is like, "What my soul boy?" and him shake him hand extra tight, and they're like, "Where you go school?" It wasn't that cool. But the reality is, it doesn't matter what comes against, I mean, there's like 20 times I wanted to give up on digital, like 20 times. For like a fleeting moment. Like, I'm tired of this, these people stressing me out, clients stressing me out, stress. But the reality is to just keep moving forward. You'll never believe where you can get if you just be persistent, which is one of the key things I want to leave with you. So yeah.
Wow, some real gems and nuggets from these guys. Listen, you entrepreneurs in the room, do you see the opportunity you're afforded today? I see you buzzing in, and we're going to open up the floor for questions. So before, I just wanted to sum up. So make your way for the questions because you have a real big opportunity here. And not you, Dwayne. We know you have questions, but that's not going to help you, right? No, but I just really wanted to underscore collaboration, your mindset, having the right people. These are big things in companies. So when you're thinking about building your company, taking it from where it is now to the next level. And so before, the persons, I just wanted to understand a little bit about what steps you took to raise funds. I know Randy spoke about don't go to the commercial bank, them that really is not the right place. But I wanted to know about how you funded your business.
Funny enough, once again, I'm kind of an anomaly in this space. I've taken zero funding. It's something that early on, I realized that everybody was running and giving up 50%, 40% of their businesses, 51% controlling interest. I was not on that tip. I was like, I believe in myself. By the way, this is my story. Funding is important, and I think it's also important to know that it depends on your industry. Services, all I needed was a laptop. Literally, Wi-Fi, a laptop. I started in this small little room. Literally small little room. I lived in a 400 square foot place. Even when I had, we have a property company too. Even when I had other apartments, 2,000 square foot, I did not move. I stayed in that little hole. And I let the investment grow. And we just kept acquiring things. And I just was there. But the point is, banks are good for that. Properties. Without the banks, I wouldn't be able to afford the properties, right? But then for digital, because it's a service-based, not heavily asset-based, right? I was able to bootstrap, what you call bootstrapping. Literally working project to project. You get a big project, you take half of that money, you don't touch it, you put it down, right? You reinvest, you might hire people. And it's being really good at finance. I've been counting money for a long time, little dollars and cents when I was a kid. And I found that financial management, now I'm not an accountant, QuickBooks is my nemesis too. I have a CFO for that. But I do understand money management and not spending what you don't have. So before you even take out a cent, 30% of that is the government's. So you can't touch, you make 100,000, 30,000, pay that to Andrew Holness. Not directly. Right? But the point is, that's the government's. Then you have to think about profitability. And Randy and I know each other from the genesis of both of our businesses because we're global shapers. We've been seeing each other grow, cheering for each other, bigging each other up on the same collaboration tip. But I didn't raise. I just kept moving forward, larger projects. I would bid on, so my strategy early on, I would bid on projects that nobody really wanted. Marketing agencies weren't keen to work with the state, right? Government. You have to write a 90-page proposal, size 12 font. I was like, I ain't got nothing better doing. I'll write this proposal. I did about, maybe at this point, maybe 100 of those, right? And we would win these these large longitudinal projects like a year. Your money's secure for a year. You can scale intelligently, right? You hire one person, you hire another person, you put this person on freelance because you're trying to watch your budget at all time and have your profit margin in your head before you even start, right? And so we just kept scaling. Over time, I started with the excess capital that I had in the business, I would be investing it in different things, right? Investing it in different areas that would be able to generate income. And I would always be able to reinvest just because I'm a workaholic. I know we're speaking on tangents of work-life balance a lot, and I choose work-life integration, and I can tell you, I do believe in work-life, having fun and taking a breather and all of these things. But as an entrepreneur, you have to know what you're signing up for, right? Sleepless nights, stress out. And by the way, it's not only business stress. Sometimes your partner's stressing you out on top of the business stress, right? And you have to hold it down. So there's a level of mental toughness that is necessary. But I really don't, the funding discussion, I am a startup consultant. I've done a lot of work across the region. So I know the funding paradigms, but I wanted 100% of my business. At least the people that I would give it to is my team, right? I would give equity to my team, but I didn't dilute I had a plan. My plan was to scale it, IPO, which we're going to do next year. We're going to be on the stock exchange next year. IPO the company. I have 100% of the shares. When we hit that profit target, we're going to list the company, my net worth and the company's shares become valued at a set amount. That is going to give me the capital to really pursue larger business endeavors. And that was the plan, and I've been following the plan. So I still own 100% of the company. We do have an employee share program that we're working on to kind of get the employees in. But in terms of funding, for this particular business, I can tell you how to raise banking, finance, I can tell you how to raise venture capital. But for this business, I took no funding. And, you know, we are a US $1 million company in terms of our earnings. And yeah, I mean, it's just been a ride. It's just been a lot of grit. And it's funny, I was planning to tell you about my day even today, right? Today I had lunch at 3 o'clock. I literally got up, ate a banana, ran out of the house, had some property matters, and I was coming here at 4. Bearers were chasing me down on the road because I was mobile, because I needed to sign contracts. I'm not kidding. I signed it on the back of my car while getting some cash to pay a guy that was delivering some stuff to one of the properties. Insane day. I got something to eat at 2 in my car. Ate it. And it's funny, I was in the parking lot at Lorna's, and it said, do not eat in your parking in your car. I was like, man, I guess I gotta break this rule. Came here at like 3:20. I mean, I was close by in 3:20, waited, and just came over here. And I mean, it takes a lot from you, all right? Entrepreneurship is going to take a lot from you, but if you want the returns, you have to be dedicated, and you have to be prudent, and you have to learn a lot about just the ecosystem in which you operate, and business, the business world in general, but key, finance, understand finance. I'll let Randy tell us.
Yeah, so you've dealt largely with the finance part of it, Kemal, so I might just take another spin to it. We've been largely a customer-funded company. For most of our years to date, meaning that when the orders come in, that can take care of what we put out and, you know, ensure profits, and we take care of our expenses and stuff like that. So that's how we've grown the company to this point. Just recently, we actually accessed a bank loan for the first. So that's why I can say when you reach 7, it's much easier for you once you have your books in order, once your accounts are in order. You have your TCC, once all your filing has been done, then it becomes a lot easier at year 7, you know, maybe beyond year 3, for you to get access to financing from the bank. And so that's why I want to make it very clear in terms of the funding aspect. Ensure that we're taking careful notes, ensure that we get waves or QuickBooks or whatever it is that makes your accounting a lot easier. Just keep your records, because if you have that, then it's easier for an accountant to step in and fix things for you to go to the bank and do what you need to get done. But it's only recently, since we actually accessed a loan to basically ramp up. The company is growing quite rapidly. The demand for the product is great. Maybe the demand has always been ahead of us, which is what we prefer to have as a problem in our business. You know. So it's for us now to figure out, how do we get to that next level? Is it an IPO? Is it investment? We are in that phase when we're thinking through things. The wonderful thing is that we have options, and a part of our journey has been to partner up, to collaborate, to find great team members that can actually add value to the growth and development of the company. And that's how people have funded this company. Our core value at Brescia is to make families purposeful and prepared. And we view our team members as family. We view our supporters, our customers as family. And so we try to give the best quality service and experience, because we understand that, the people who make the products really funding this thing, because each time a bag goes out, money comes into the company, right? And when the money comes into the company, we can reinvest and we can grow, right? So we give thanks to where we have been so far. One last point from me, Nakita, because I think Kemal covered the numbers and the accounting and financing side of things, is just to say to us, ensure that you're not only going into business for the monetary gains. That's great. But there'll be days when you never win the contract. There'll be days when you might have to look, months, you might have to look at your staff and say, hey, guys, sorry, but the pay not ready yet. Now, if you've had a good relationship with them, maybe they'll understand. Or maybe they'll walk and spread on Twitter and Instagram and everybody else and tell people, say, yeah, you're a horrible boss or whatever, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So how you treat your people is very important. Take care of the internal customers, very key. not just the external customers, right? That's very important. So understand when you're going into business, it's not just for the financial gains. At Branty Center, I would have learned a concept called people, profit, planet. And we have to ensure that the profit is there, but we have to take care of the people them. And another one I want to throw into the mix as we go into the questions is the planet. How, as an entrepreneur, are you contributing to the welfare of the planet, of the environment? Without the environment, none of us will exist. So whatever field you're going in, whatever area you're going in, ensure that we're doing our best to operate a sustainable enterprise. And remember your why. Your why should be deeper than just the money. Your why should be deeper than just you. Your why should be something that inspires and motivates and really connect at the heart level. What value, what legacy are you going to leave behind when you would have passed on? Understand? So that's my final point.
Listen, you can't pay for this, you know. You guys cannot pay. I feel like I need to start a business. You know, like, you know, when you feel like you're not that person. Sometimes I feel like I'm not that person, but I think I'm gonna sit down with Randy and Kemal, and then of course utilize the app, and then see what other resources I can. Yeah, I feel like we all can start businesses right now. Yes, collaboration indeed. Nashana.
I just want to reinforce the point about your why and about your not going in business just for money. Of course, we all want to make money, but being an entrepreneur, Randy and Kamal will tell you, it is tough. It's not easy. It is very, very tough. So you have to always remember your why. It's about that passion. Because when there's no money, once you still have that passion and you have your why, that can keep you going. If you speak to any successful entrepreneur, including my CEO, Michelle Chong, who is the CEO of Honeybun, she will tell you about the days when Honeybun had no money. That's just part of the journey. So you have to be passionate. And when you go into business, whatever it is, it has to be something that you're passionate about. Your passion is the most important asset in the business. So the guys say, when you don't have money, once you have your passion, it can always get you on to the next level. And to something that Randy said earlier about collaboration, I mean, we've been saying it a lot up here. You don't understand how important that word is. That's actually one of the tenets of the Honeybun Foundation, because we realize that to achieve our mission, you can't do it alone. You need other people. And so if you look at the banner over there, you see the different organizations that came together. I'm working with ILE. We have Global Entrepreneurship Network. It's the same thing in business. You can make, instead of you sitting in your corner and making a ripple, if you come together and collaborate, then you can make a splash and really make a difference.
Thank you so much. Together we can. Together we can. So, questions from the audience. I see them nervous, they're calling us, so I know so you're taking a little time. Please come to the mic right here. Go ahead, don't be shy. You guys are among entrepreneurs and resources. You have to speak. Miguel, you can raise a little, no? Or you come down.
All right.
Please introduce yourself, and if you have a business, tell us about your business a little bit, and then you ask a question, please.
Sure thing. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miguel Francis. I do have a business. I am one of the winners of the DIA program. Not the first batch. I think I was about the third batch. My business is operating a small, sustainably focused workshop that allows persons to create products and other items primarily from wood, all right, as well as electronics and pretty much anything that involves recycling or using recycled products as much as possible. And my question now is, am I not loud enough? No.
Just a little bit more, just a little bit more.
Okay, sorry about that.
There you go.
So my question now was, surprisingly, I've sent a message to Venice this morning, probably after 3 a.m. when I was up working. About
work-life integration, apparently.
About the topic that you guys were talking about, finding potential partners or collaborating with others. I was mentioning to her, I was thinking about that and asking what resources are available for what mindset one would need to have or where to look, how to look when thinking how to find a partner to work with on your business. I hear that it's more important than a marriage. So, really want to think about that decision. It's a heavy decision, and I heard you guys hammer on how important it was, like the how and the mindset, yeah.
So how important are partnerships in business? I think that's the core of what you're saying, Miguel. No, very important. I don't know what business feels like alone. So Nakita knows me before Brescia as a performer. I would knock him back there for me. Dwayne.
What are you trying to say?
Dwayne know me from them time they too.
Not on the stage I knew Randy on.
Right? So, but I've formed different performing arts groups before even starting Brescia. So, I don't know business alone. Myself and my brother started the company, so that's how the collaboration even started in Brescia. Then, my production manager is now my wife, is here, Vernique, right?
Big up yourself. Where should I? Hey.
No, but
okay.
Vernique would have left her job. I mean, I chat with business, I wrote, sorry, darling. Vernique would have left. She was in a very stable job, earning decent money, clearly more than what me that earn working at Brescia at the time. And she would have left to join us at Brescia because she saw the vision and she was passionate about what we're doing. She didn't know that there wasn't going to be any financial gain or how far Brescia would be 7 years, almost 8 years on, right? So people join you because they connect with your vision and your purpose. My brethren is here as well, Conrad, right? And the team, they've been integral to the growth of the brand, to the development of who I am as a person, and what the company is all about. So my encouragement to you, my friend, would be to find, Kemal mentioned it earlier, to find the right people, right? It's the right people to staff your company, but it's the right circle as well, right? Because you have people who will kill your dreams, You get what I'm saying? So you have to be careful who it is that you're speaking with. You want people who speak life into what you're doing. You want people who see the journey. Sometimes not even you see it yourself, and they'll come and add value to it. People will help you to elevate, to become a better person, to become a better friend, to become a better husband, to become a better brother. And I have grown tremendously as a result of the people in my circle, right? The persons I mentioned before, and I love my team, Nakita. And without them, Brescia wouldn't be where it's at today. As I said to you guys, I cannot sew. I don't make any of the products that you see people going around making. It never supposed to happen to these two young people, right? But we're where we are today. That's because we're invested at a heart level in what we're doing, and we really try to find the right people to partner up with, to collaborate with, because we mean well, and our dreams are big, our ambition big, but we can't do it alone. You're going to need people, right? And so we're a family-first company. I encourage you, understand yourself, my friend, understand what your strengths are, understand what your weaknesses are, and find people who can plug those gaps. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to kill off yourself to get rich or wealthy or whatever it is that your goal is. You have friends, you have colleagues at school, whatever it is. Collaborate to be great is a serious thing. I always say to my people and my friends, I'm not try to do it alone and kill off myself. We want to get Brescia to that level where we continue to grow and I can go back to start to performing again. I have so many dreams. More enough companies like Kemal. You understand? People don't remember anymore doing that I perform. You understand?
And he had the first breadfruit song.
Oh yes.
Breadfruit.
We love me breadfruit.
We love me breadfruit. Breadfruit.
Breadfruit. Me say me love me breadfruit. Breadfruit. Me love me breadfruit. From the tree top to hold on, me have fans. Yeah, wheel. So in terms of a story, that's how the name of the company came about. We all know what Brescia is, right? Okay, and enough people don't know it. Some of the town people don't know.
Them come from country.
Brescia is the Jamaican country people word for breadfruit. Oh, yes, man. Some of them never know. Yeah, so I am from St. Thomas. More history. Yeah? But you have an apple phone, don't you? Make sure you're not eating the apple. All right. So who knows? We're taking this Jamaican brand global, and if them can have Apple, we must can have something more local to man.
Absolutely, I love that.
And so that's what we're doing. I mean, to the world.
You know, it's funny. It's an apple. I wanted to be the apple of the Caribbean. That was my early goal, like literally. But to speak about the point. What was the point again, Randy? You talk so long. Partnership. Yes. I mean, there's a popular maxim that says you're an average of the 5 people you associate with daily. Choose wisely. I found that to be very true. Very true, right? Because as Randy said, you have persons that are dream killers, you know. And they're not overtly doing it. They might be just sabotaging the business little by little, you know. You'd be surprised. Or, you look, there's a Jim Rohn, like one of my heroes. Jim Rohn, he has a thing that says, you know, if you put strychnine, which is poison, in coffee, if you drink it, you're going to die. Does it matter if your best friend put the strychnine in the coffee? No, you're still going to die. So it's the same concept. Think about that. They might be doing their utmost best, you know, but causing you damage. And you have to make hard decisions. And as much as we speak about partnerships, there's also firing. There's also cutting the ties. That's the real thing about business now. All right? Because the reality is, you have to make hard decisions as a leader. I mean, I have the privilege that, you know, when I started the firm, I mean, I did start it as the only founder. I was the sole founder. I didn't have a co-founder to balance the weight. So yeah, I did kill off myself in the beginning. But not like, I was killing myself in the beginning. I hired, and the more I hired persons and the more I structured, the easier things got, right? And now I have a great team of people. I mean, they're just doing it. I mean, I've been on the road all day, and they don't even check in on me. CFO handling her business, digital officers handling, everybody just talking, and the systems and structures that we've built within the company facilitates what I call automation. You know, systems allow for repeatable success, right? But what I did have, even though I was a solo founder, right? I was just didn't have a co-founder. What I did have was a brain trust. I had some great entrepreneurs around me, people my age. That we just, hey, you check out this video from this guy. Hey, you take this course yet? Hey, you watch this? Hey, we're having problems, we talk about it. Right? And a lot of it is complaining. Lord, I can't take them people. You know, you complain. You have people to vent to too. And therapy is a good thing. As an entrepreneur, you have to go to therapy. Because they will mad you. Right? People will mad you, and the business will mad you, and customers will mad you. And I say mad in the context. You know what we mean in Jamaica, right? But it's real. You have to have an outlet. And sometimes it's not going to be your friend. Sometimes it's some things that you don't want to talk about and share. And it's not weakness to want to seek help, gentlemen. Among us, you know, we think it's a wee thing. Listen, I have a therapist, and it's great. I pay her, and she have to listen to me. Right? For that hour, I own your ears, right? And you have to listen to me. But yeah, I grew. I mean, right now on my board, I have essentially the deputy CEO of Barito, and he's 30. He's younger than me. I think he's 31, and he's my good friend. We met when I was pitching for a project. We never win the project, but we became lifelong friends, and literally we talk every day. Because he might not be an entrepreneur, but he's running like 3,000 people in the company. He's managing 3,000 people. I'm managing 30, and it's the same challenges. And it's the same happiness. Oh, I found a good team member. This person really doing them thing. And so, I mean, partnership comes in many ways. It's not only going to be with your team. It's going to be with your core grouping, your family sometimes. We all need support because I can tell you, entrepreneurship is a lonely road at times. Randy, you have your team, but there's certain things only you can do. Only certain weights that he carries. And it's just the reality of the game, right? But definitely collaborate, find. And I mean, there's a lot of events around that you can find the co-founders. A friend of mine, Jermaine Henry, he found his co-founder, I think it's Kingston Beta. For a couple of his company, there was events like Kingston Beta, there are events going around. You find the people that are aligned with you and will help you to achieve your mission and your goal. But it's very important to pursue that thing called alignment. And it's a very difficult thing to capture because alignment comes at the level of your values, your core values, but also who you are as a fundamental individual. What is your working style, right? Where do you see a vision? Some persons can only see beyond the level, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's why the visionary is the CEO, the one that can see beyond. But then you will need people around that can see beyond you. That's what a board is called, right? Persons that are industry experts. I encourage everyone to get advisors, right? Advisors, and I know the Honeybun Foundation facilitates it. Advisors are very important. We had an advisory board requirement from Branson. Randy and I go way back, you know. Shapers, Branson Center for Entrepreneurship. We've been through the programs, right? We've been through it, right? We've been through the, what do you call it? What do you call it? When you have your stripes. Yes. We have our stripes in the game, right? International competitions, local competitions, it's the whole works. And by the way, let me say, I did not take funding, but every time I applied, nobody would give me any money, right? That's the next thing. I would apply for stuff like grants and stuff. I guess I wasn't a good grant writer. I just wouldn't get the money. I would just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it anyways. Just recently, we got turned on for a $20 million grant, Jamaican, for a big project that we're doing. We're building about 2 commercial units from the property side, right? The property side, about 2 commercial units. And we're doing a co-working studio and a production studio, 1,000 square foot each, big places. Not big places, but reasonable sized places. And I wanted the $20 million grant to build it. They said no. I haven't even told my teammate, right? Because I'm like, they're going to be like, so sad.
Now you're informed.
Right? Right? But I was just like, I told my CFO, I was like, here, we're going to do it anyways. What do I feel like? Listen, go find out from the bank how much money they can give us. But no, we haven't yet. But I mean, realistically speaking, it's real. I mean, a setback is just a setup for success. You just got to keep moving. Nothing will stop me. Listen, I've been in a hospital bed. I remember when I had a serious car crash, broke my leg, lost my best friend in the car accident. I finished my thesis on time. Still. Psychological trauma, all of the different things you can imagine. Horrible, horrible situation, right? But I'm gonna finish. I'm just built a little different in my mindset. I will not stop. And I can tell you, many times in DGM's history has been like that. Partner, no partner, I'll never forget. There's an instance that we call Hell On. I was in a very small space. And I remember, I'll never forget, this team member, he applied. So digital, from our very beginning, we look way bigger than we were. The website did pretty, right? It looked like we're a Fortune 500. Matter of fact, I got flown to Colombia because the Colombian consulate, the Colombian Jampro, you would call it, Colombian Jampro, saw my website, said, we're inviting medium-sized businesses to come to Colombia to buy. So I was like, yes, that's me. Come on. And they flew me over there, right? I had fun. I've been to Colombia 4 times since. But the thing is, we looked really good online, but we never have the money. So a guy came, and he wanted to apply and drive up in a Benz. Them time, I walk foot. I was like, yeah, he's not going to stay long. Right? So yeah, vision aside, he saw the company, came for an interview, and he was expecting some big money. I didn't have it. He left the same day. He's like, small office. Because in marketing, you want to work in the fancy buildings, and you're a marketing agency, you want to work with these big companies that, have your little office and your little cubicle. And we never have none of that, right? We had none of that, but we had a great culture. We would sit in circles and discuss success and, what does it mean to you, and, how would you contribute, and how do you feel here, and all of these narratives, right? But we just didn't have the capital. But it facilitated, as Randy said, family, right? But it also showed you who is actually in the vision, and that's something else, to weed out the persons, right? Because we didn't have it, really didn't have it, and I saw him, I was like, yeah, this guy, And the funniest thing, I saw him at the car wash the other day, right? And he didn't remember me, or maybe he didn't. BMW? No, man, he never have the Beamer this time. Look like life get hard. Right, he didn't have the Beamer this time. And I saw him, and I have a nice car now, I'm not walking anymore and taking taxis. And I was just like, boy, how things come full circle, And there's been a lot of those full circle moments when, I remember really tough time in the business, being, functionally alone, problems that only I as the founder could handle. And I just stuck it out. And here we are today, and we're just going to keep going forward and building from strength to strength,
Thanks so much, guys. But before you ask the question, I actually want to just turn it to Nashana and Rosie, because they are in partnership. This is what they do too. They have to identify. They're the ones who are looking. Let me see what value you bring to our foundation. What our investment, what's the return on our investment when we invest in you? So I just wanted to, have an opportunity, give you an opportunity for you to tell us, what do you look for, especially if you're going to fund a business, maybe a seed funding or anything like that. What do you look for when you think about partnerships and when you're finding the right partners?
Yeah. Well, the good fit is an important starting point because, the shared value, but when we talk about partnerships, we're really talking about building relationships. You could have, we can agree on principles and ideas, but can we work together? Do we like each other? Are we comfortable, doing what we have to do? And I think those are the best partners that we can rely on because there's that shared sense of purpose and objective and so on. And I think that we define our partnerships in different ways because there are partners we have who will provide financial support, but there's also partners who we want to support, but will meet us part way in that support. And we consider that an important partner because it enables us to do more. And then, of course, there are other partners who won't give us cash or financial support, but will give us other kinds of support. That's important. And I want to just big up one particular partner we had who, in the COVID period, where we couldn't, for example, source bags for our care packages and so on, I'll big him up, JA Deals. That company was able to go out of his way to find those bags and provide consistent, reliable supplies that enable us to be able to do more. And we valued that because it was a very uncertain moment. People weren't sure about what was happening, and he was able to give us good prices, consistent quality and service, and we really value that partner. But we have many other partners that we work with, and in fact, I must tell you, on our board, when we gave our directors a list of partners, they asked the question, how do you define partnerships? Because they couldn't believe the list of partners that we had, literally over 100. And we had to go down and explain and define what we mean by partners and show that we value partnerships in different ways. And that's what has enabled us to do so much. And I want to just say, just to have this opportunity to say, it enabled us to provide training and cash and other kinds of support to over 250 entrepreneurs since the beginning of the foundation. And we have provided over $20 million in support to those.
Wow, excellent. You see what partnership can do? I'm so
partnership
happy
can
I
do.
turned this question to the foundations.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Nashana.
Yes, partnership is very, very important. I mean, and Randy spoke about alignment. You have to share a vision. And once, because with our advisor model, all our advisors are doing it voluntarily. They're not paid for being advisors, but we've explained to them what the foundation is about, and they've bought into the vision. And so we call them our nation builders because we're talking about CEOs, you're talking about lawyers, you're talking about really high-level persons who said, we believe in the vision of the Honeybun Foundation and we're going to volunteer our time to work with these SMEs. And so you always have to be so grateful for your partners because without them, we wouldn't be able to provide an advisory committee to Chevelle and all the other SMEs that we're working with. And there's a lot other opportunity where they have to learn from these people that we have in our advisor board. Where else would they be in a room with these CEOs who've proven themselves? And mentorship is so important for these SMEs because there's no rule book, but these people have been through the journey before. And so to have them showing you the way that they found it out the hard way, but no, they're here to make it a little easier for you. And so we constantly talk about our advisors as nation builders because we're aligned, they've bought into the vision, and we could not be doing what we're doing without them because they're volunteering their time free of cost just to give back to Jamaica because they understand that what the foundation is here for is to build Jamaica, and we are all owners of this country, so we're all doing our part. So alignment and buying to the vision is very important, and you have to show gratitude to them. You have to show gratitude to them. It's not about monetary, returns. It's about saying thank you and valuing their time and anything that Rosalie talked about, the different levels of partners, whatever it is that they're giving you, whether they're meeting you halfway, they're giving you cash or in kind, you have to show gratitude because we as foundation, NGOs, could not do what we've been able to do and will continue to do without our partners.
Thank you, and we're very grateful that they're here because we could not be able to do this
At
without
one point
them.
on that note, you said lawyers. Lawyers are a very important partner to have. All right? You might think, I'm small. Nothing can happen. No, it's very true, especially when you're negotiating deals in venture capital. You have to have good legal counsel because you might end up giving away your shirt for ice cement. All right? You have to ensure that partnership also includes your skill base. I call them my skill base. On my board, I have some very strong people that I run to if there's a problem. I run to for just advice, So the partnership extends to the skill base that you build around yourself. And I'm not paying them, all right? I'm not paying them. Maybe a nice meal when they come to my house or something, right? But it's really because we're friends. They respect my journey. They're aligned with my direction, all right? And they want to see my vision come to, for whatever reason, all right? They want to see it come to life. But definitely, lawyer up, all right? Very important, yeah?
Go ahead. Thank you, Kamal. Thank you, Nashana. Rosie.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aliyah Campbell. Okay. Hi, everyone, again. My name is Aliyah Campbell. I am the owner of the Eco Brand Jamaica, and I'm also the owner of More Than Marketing, but I'm here representing the Eco Store. That falls under the Eco Brand, specific. Okay, so I have a few questions, actually. I have about 3. So the first one is more to Randy. So I wanted to ask about, well, one, I wanted to know if you still sourced all your materials locally. And then I also wanted to ask about how you tend to problem solve when it comes to production, creating, and when it comes to scaling, because it's a product that's handmade or you make locally. How do you deal with those problems that arise from, importing, machinery, and if you do import materials and all of that?
All right, great question, Alia. So, where should I start? So, the Brescia that people knew in 2015 is not the same Brescia that we are today. So, most persons now would perhaps know us for the Roast by Brescia collection, which looks more corporate, definitely luxury, premium luxury. But we actually started by supplying the school market and the leisure kind of cultural, festival spaces. But we pivoted a little, well, not a little, maybe a lot, because of inconsistencies with material locally, right? So that's what I'm connecting it to. So we started super custom. So you could call in Alia, you could actually take your material to us. You could actually tell us that you want, hey, I want pink and blue and green. And we would have take the order and gone down to one of the fabric store, go search the different aisles to find the fabric, and then go and cut and make your bag. Of course, that's super personal and custom made. Right, but it was difficult to scale as such, and so you would have found your material, we made it, and we put up the photo on Instagram, and everybody love off your material, and when we go back and call back the company, there's no more of it. So what we decided to do with Roast was to switch to a material that we could get locally, consistently, right? And so that's the reason why we actually changed models to focus on Roast, basically paused all the bag designs and colors that we had working on to say, let's focus, let's streamline, let's focus on one market segment, and let's focus on one production line. And it has worked tremendously. It kept us afloat throughout COVID. So what I'll say is, understand your target market, but also understand what is more sustainable, right? If you want to scale, if you want to grow, then you have to look at how your supply chain match up with what's available locally. And because if we're going to have to change our material daily to keep the company alive, then that's a little difficult, right? In terms of where we find material, generally speaking, we source material, the material locally, but we are now getting some of our accessories from overseas. Our ultimate aim is to be able to actually order on larger scale, which is actually what we're moving to now. So going direct to suppliers so that we can get economies of scale, and we're growing, as I said to you guys earlier. We can ramp up and plan with a longer cycle, 6 months down the line, 1 month, 1 year down the line, 2 years, getting in container loads of material and accessories so that we can plan carefully. It's just a more stable situation. We're not on the edge in terms of if local supplies go down and the suppliers don't have it, then business pause and we have to put on the website out of stock, right? And that has happened to us a couple times this year actually, where the zips or the buckles weren't available from our local suppliers, and then we had to go overseas. Now we know the issues that have been happening with supply chain disruptions across the world. We've been impacted by those. But I want to make a plug here, which is why I tie it back to sustainability. Over the years, we've partnered with people like JPS Foundation to make bags from recycled vinyl and banner. And so if you're a company or organization here and you don't know what to do with your banners when you're finished with them, we'll take them from you. we actually utilize them in our production process. Because you're eco and your eco store and eco brand, I'm making the points here. We've also, Kemal, when you're not wearing them denim thing here anymore, just wash them and send them to it. Right? Because then we have in the past, we've not made the most noise about it, but we do plan on hopefully introducing it next year, where we're actually taking your material and your clothing at home that you're not using anymore, and we'll remix them and turn them in a bag.
I love it.
Granny said, take your hand, turn your hand, make fashion. Right? So yeah. Quickly, find where the materials are available locally. Tap them so that you have an easily accessible, readily accessible. You can drive, go down the road, jump on a taxi, but also find maybe a supply in the US or in Latin America or closer to home in the Caribbean, Colombia. But also look further afield so that you have 2 or 3 options. Closer, you're not so close, further afield, because maybe further afield you actually get it cheaper. So you have to look and weigh up and see what makes sense. But importantly, especially in this day and age, and I have to plug it for those of us who care about the planet and understand that we want to operate ethical businesses, how we source is very important. That's why we've not been so quick to go too far. Because how the material is being made, the conditions under which they are being made, is it sweatshop where people are being abused and human rights are being jeopardized, then we don't want your material and we don't want your accessory. We have no interest in partnering with you. You understand? And we are about building the relationships, and so that's how we've approached things. So that's a snapshot of how we deal with the sustainability and material side of things. I think I captured some of your production element of your question as well. But again, quickly, we're always innovating. The team has a lot of products, a lot of innovation. Davian, the entire team, the designs at the factory, they have designs that we've not been able to touch as yet. But we're hoping that we'll find a bigger space pretty soon that we can then offer to all our customers that have been asking for things like handbags and belts, possibly. Suitcase is one of the things that we're getting a lot of requests for. So we listen to our customers, we listen to our extended families, family members. We don't just sit down in the factory or in the office and say, yo, me think say them want a suitcase, man, just design suitcase, Davian. No, you guys actually tell us what you want. And we work from that standpoint, and we go and build the product accordingly. Something that makes you purposeful and prepared. It's built for purpose.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Randy. Wow.
I just want to drop a little extra pressure on the handbag section because I was
Doesn't
searching.
this look good as a handbag?
I was searching.
Yeah? Wait, say hurry up with the handbags.
Yeah.
All right, ma'am. I taking notes.
Okay.
You agree?
I agree.
Davian is here? Sir, hurry up.
I want to put a shameless plug. I bought 2 bags in the very, very beginning, and I still use them. There's nothing torn. There's nothing wrong with the bags. They are perfect, just like I got them the day. And I'm saying this is quality made in Jamaica. I just can't imagine what the handbags will look like, especially some of us who have, get some handbags and then sometimes them tearing. You're like, what? You know?
Let me add to that young ladies, we always want to manage our money and we need to. So we buy these cheap bags and they never last.
They don't.
So, you might as well think about it that way. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my last question was to Kamal, and I guess, and the ladies as well, if it applies. I wanted to know how you navigate being a serial entrepreneur, especially when it comes to early survival. Because for me, a little bit about my journey, I started one company, the Eco Brand, and then I started the second company sort of to provide additional funding, because I had to make it work, figure out how to do production, all of that. But then trying to make 2 businesses survive at once has been a struggle. So I'm not sure if you have any. I want to know what your journey is like being a serial entrepreneur and how you try to navigate keeping business afloat.
Sure. All right, great question.
A simple answer. There are it's multivariate, right? So the first answer to that is sequencing. Right? So I started DGM first. I was the marketing company, or is the marketing company, digital global marketing. And through scaling the company, right, and getting to a certain level of staff load, where I wasn't so actively involved in certain elements like reporting, running the campaigns, dealing with the designers, dealing with the digital marketing executives, etc., I was able to get more time to kind of start pursuing a side passion at the time, which was real estate. And I've always been interested. Funny enough, I wanted to be an architect. But UTech wouldn't take me. Honestly, they wouldn't take me. Same thing came from Miami. They're like, go back to school, right? Because you need, A levels? Yeah, so they wouldn't take me. So I had to kind of segue later into this dream. But essentially, I just built DGM. And also, real estate is not an intensive business, right? It's not the second business. I started, so digital was 2016. Real estate was 2018. The venture capital company came later, all right? Around 2020, like post-COVID. I mean, in the midst of COVID. And the finance company, well, that's secret stuff that's coming up. But the point is, it's really about sequencing. So the marketing company was first because it was the most, I would say, difficult to run, and it also contributed some capital to me. So I was able, like you just said, able to kind of scale out. Real estate came second because you can acquire properties and they sit there and you appreciate. So you don't want to go into two intensive businesses simultaneously and try to grow. It's going to be really tough. And mark you, I still work really, really hard in the context of like day to day. As I said, I was at properties today. I had a pitch this morning for the marketing company, went to one of our new properties that we're in the process of finishing up, and then came here. So it's also time management. Efficiency is something that you can't manage. Well, let me not say that. I always tell my staff, you cannot manage time. You have to manage yourself within it. So it's self-management. Because time is going to pass no matter what you do, right? So what I try to do is I have themed days. Monday, Wednesday, that's digital. Tuesdays, that might be properties. Digital global marketing, DGM. Tuesdays and Thursdays, that might be properties. Or properties is my Saturday. There is a tangible sacrifice. You look at people like Elon Musk running like 4 companies at once, and Twitter. You can see him stressed out, right? You can see him stressed out. But the thing is, he has a large management core, right? That's supposed to be helping him. But the reality is, it's really theming your days. That's one of the things that I've read. I've read extensively on a lot of like hacks and productivity hacks and tweaks. And that's one of the things. Theme your days, right, as best as you can, so that you can say, okay, these days, this is my explicit focus on these 2 days, right? Or on these 3 days, or half of the week, or whatever, the ratio that you need. But also, do not start 2 time-intensive businesses simultaneously, because you will not be able to give 50-50, because you're only one person. And if it is that you have not built out a team, or even an assistant, which can also help you to manage both, or an assistant, or a COO, a partner, a co-founder, if you're the only person doing both, it becomes really taxing. And so I would definitely say, sequence it properly, focus on one of the businesses, right? Give it the life that it needs, give it the nutrients that it needs. Look at how you can, in time, kind of give life to that one, or find an employee that can kind of, help you really, really run that engine while you grow the one that is the highest priority to you, and perhaps the one that is more in line with your vision, your mission, and where you see yourself. I'm looking for CEOs right now, to be honest with you. I am not supposed to be running digital. I have a short fuse, right? I know I'm not supposed to be running digital in the context of a very long, because as we scale, I'm realizing I also have bandwidth challenges. I'm one person too. As the marketing company scales, as the property company scales, we're now doing developments, multi-billion-dollar projects. It's going to be a problem. I can't manage. And you have to look yourself. You have to be honest and look at yourself and be like, I can't do everything. So I'm looking for CEOs. I'm looking for a CEO. I found my property company CEO. I'll be CEO of digital until we list. Probably 6 months after, a year after, I will, put my COO in that seat, or silently, have that person do that. But you have to be strategic, is the answer to the question. You have to decide. You cannot do everything as one individual. And so you have to pick, you have to prioritize, and you have to, at the very least, theme your days so that you can kind of say, okay, I'm giving some life here, giving some life there. And that's pretty much what I would say. You're welcome.
Thanks so much. I think we are taking one more question.
Yes, so just one last round of questions. We have 2 here, so they're going to just have to use some brain power and remember both questions. And then those persons who have additional questions, we're going to be going on the rooftop to get some snacks, and also to...
Sorry?
Snacks? No, Venice definitely have some fancy food upstairs.
Okay, some fancy snacks, all right.
Fancy snacks, yeah. Hors d'oeuvres. And then, so we get the 2 questions, and then you can wrap up your team, and we head upstairs for others.
So I guess I'll stand right here. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Candice Gordon from Cheviel Naturals, and basically we provide holistic hair and skincare. So what we do, we provide a combination of handmade natural hair and skincare products, as well as natural remedies and lifestyle tips that can help you to get the hair and skin you desire. And it's not just for women, but also men as well, right? So
I like. Practice that, huh? All right, that's good. That's good.
Right, so basically I have to squeeze my question down to one. But I heard where you had mentioned about systems, right? So, you know, for me, I started doing a lot of things by myself. So I really trying to see how can I develop the system so that when I have the people, it's just smooth. And another question was regarding adulting as well. How do you manage work and this business? But you can answer one and we can talk after it.
We're
But
all
the
still
systems.
adulting, just to say.
One thing I've learned as I've grown up. Grown-ups are just figuring it out. Adults are just figuring it out. That's what I've learned. My parents, everybody, we don't have it all figured out. But in terms of the systems, I'll focus there. Systems are the life of your business because you cannot do everything. There's something that I want everyone to know, SOPs, Standard Operating Procedures. So what you're doing right now is very good. I commend you. Document, document, document. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right? Because when you start documenting everything, it's easy to just pass it over and say, hey, these are the 5 steps, and be as detailed as possible, right? Be as detailed as possible in SOPs. So that is really how much of, so for example, you're doing, you're manufacturing.
Yes.
You're creating, you said hair
and skincare products.
Hair and skincare products. So clearly there's a formula, correct?
Yes.
So that formula, it's this much shea butter, I'm assuming, this much, this much, that. That's an SOP. That's an SOP. So you're literally saying, put in this much, heat it to this, and I'm sure, Randy, you have SOPs. You have to, because what it is ensures repeatable results. And the repeatable result is why you have a brand like Brusher. It's the same product, same quality. KFC uses SOPs. How long you must heat the chicken, how much butter must go on it. So it's an essential thing to document each step in the business, from the finance, from how you actually make the product, from the sales process to make the product, how do you handle client origination. But every aspect of your business needs to be documented, right? Finance, sales, marketing, HR, very important. What's your process for hiring people? Because as you scale up, you're going to need to find new persons, especially if you're scaling really, really fast. You're going to need to find new people to actually execute the projects that you're doing, new team members. And you have to have, you don't want to ever, so growth can also kill a business as much as it, can make you succeed. If you're not prepared for growth, it can destroy you. Because you'll be able to break the one rule that you never break in business, which is keeping your word and keeping at least my rule, I try to keep my word and keep my commitments. I believe in integrity. I mean, even as a marketing agency, we really try to not miss deadlines. Back when I was closer to everything, we did not miss deadlines. But as things happen and, but the reality is, as much as you can try to document, use Google Drive. It doesn't have to be on paper. Keep it. A simple tip is to use Google Drive because it's in the cloud forever. It's going to stay there forever. You can send it to persons, even if you're working virtually. If your factory is in Hanover and you're in Kingston or wherever it is, you can, create systems that allow you to bridge time and space. Clearly, I run a digital company, so everything we do is online. Literally, we have a one-button onboarding process for our team. We use a tool called Process Street. Process Street essentially automates we use tools, oh my God, we have tools for everything. We use a tool called Bamboo HR to manage HR and recruiting and onboarding. So everything is literally just systematic, automated, because you don't want to spend time on non-revenue generating activities when you're trying to scale your business. If you spend too much time doing the wrong thing, you're going to have too little time to do the right things that are going to help you scale and grow. So you want to get your processes down, you want to prioritize, you want to also control the access level to your processes. Not everybody needs to know everything on how you operate. It's tied to your position within the business because you could be opening yourself up to competitors or a spy. Now, these are real things. It's real business. This is real business, I'm telling you. You have to be guarded with your intellectual property because your formula is your intellectual property. And so you have to ensure that, you have the systems that, one, protect it, but also give access to those that are necessary to, help your business scale and do what you need to do. But there's and a quick quote I'll end with, there's no secret to success. There's systems to success.
Amen.
All right?
Thank you. So the last question before we have those fancy snacks.
All right,
right, hi, good evening, everyone. So I just have a very simple question, and I'd like to throw it out to Miss Lala and Miss
Hamilton.
Sorry about that. So the question was just, how do you approach a mentor for your business? What are some questions that you would approach and ask them, and how do you ensure the sustainability and the longevity of that relationship?
Okay, well, when we are recruiting advisors, we have a list of criteria. So it's not just anybody who will take on as advisors. So we have what's called a fit and proper. So there's a form that we have that all our advisors have to be, just to ensure that they will be the right fit for the program as well as the right fit for the entrepreneurs. Because it's not just you having run your company for 40 years that would make you an advisor. It goes beyond that. You need certain soft skills and certain emotional intelligence. So we've developed a fit and proper form that we have all our advisors go through, just to ensure that when we match them with the SMEs will be getting value, because there's a difference between you having the knowledge and you being able to transfer that knowledge or to guide someone. So we have an in-depth form that we have our advisors complete, just to ensure that we're getting the proper persons who can ably, guide our SMEs. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, partly.
I'll just say quickly, there are two important things we look for. What is it that the mentor can contribute? So what skill sets, and that has to be matched, because what you want may not be what exactly the mentor can give, and vice versa. So that matching is important. And importantly, time, because the best mentors in terms of their skills and capacities have the least amount of time. And so what we try to do is to make sure that there is a mentorship plan. So we, encourage that you devote a specific time, even if it's 1 hour a week or a month, whatever it is, but you use that time very efficiently, and make sure that, of course, you're achieving the objective that you both want to achieve. So those are the two things we look for, and we build a plan around. And again, that fit is important, and the criteria.
And let me just add to that, from you're an entrepreneur approaching someone, clearly cold emailing does work.
Okay.
Right? Walking up to somebody and saying, hi, I was really inspired. It's happened to me so much over time. Just, somebody comes up to you and just, hey, I would love to learn more from you. I would love to, there's nothing wrong with just approaching somebody and just saying, hi, I would love to, benefit from your skills. Let me take you out. The main thing is when you're approaching someone that you'd call as a high value mentor, somebody that is difficult, take them, can I redo, what skills do you have to contribute to their lives in some meaningful way? Can I redo your CV for free? Can I contribute? Can I give you some of my products so you can test and take home? They'll make your hair beautiful. People want to know that you value them, to speak to the same gratitude earlier, because some persons are only about taking, and they feel entitled that you are here, you're supposed to help me. No. It's a gift. Knowledge is the greatest gift anyone can give you, truly. Knowledge and experience is the greatest gift anyone can give you. It's worth its weight in gold. If you read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, you'll even understand deeper about the importance of this knowledge and wisdom versus, money. Somebody can give you money. Or, the same thing about teaching a man to fish versus giving them the fish. Yeah. So I would definitely say just approach someone, send a cold email. It does work. Early on when we were in the company, I had resources at my hand, like, designers. I'd be like, hey, design a nice graphic for this person, for this award that they just won. Because I wanted to catch their attention. You have to be creative. And I would send it, like, oh, this is so nice, let's have a meeting. I'm like, sure. Right? So it's finding creative ways to catch the attention of persons. Using your skill set, and most importantly, being authentic in your ask. Is it really advice you want or investment? You can just be very, very clear about what you're trying to achieve and see if someone bites. And also be okay if they do not. It's not an impediment on your business. It might just be that they don't have the time and they're being honest that they can't commit it, Yeah,
just 10 seconds in terms of outside of the cold calls and stuff like that. You can join industrial associations as well. So like JMEA, PSOJ, to actually meet these people at their annual general meetings or when they have networking events. That's a good way, that's a good approach. One of the members of my board, that's how we actually met, and he was my mentor in a JMEA program before we actually asked him to join our board member. Another person on the board was somebody from a high school who was the head of the trust, the high school trust, who would have looked up to while I was in high school, how he carried himself, how he dealt with the student population, how he, and what I saw, how he delivered. And so I approached him. I was very nervous, actually. And this is a year or so ago. Pray before making the call, believe it or not. Because people don't understand that you have to be vulnerable as an entrepreneur. And you put yourself out there, and you must get yes, But be prepared to get a yes or a no or maybe. And I had to pray and get myself in a zone before I actually made that call. And when the call ended though, and the man say yes, you feel good. You understand? So you have to do what you have to do. If it's a cold call, if you have to join industry associations, do it. If it's somebody that you admire, just find a way and get it done.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you to our awesome panel. Kamal said it, knowledge is everything, and you can't pay for that. You have not paid for this. This is once in a lifetime opportunity, maybe more than once, because ILE tends to put on this a lot. But this panel in particular, they have been amazing. They have been gracious. They have shared their journey. They have given you nuggets and gems that is going to help you to grow your business, take it from where it is. I'm sure some of you have been inspired, reignited, and you're going to take, I see your face, yeah, man, awesome. But I just wanted to say, Linda.
And I'd just like to say one thing. I've been inspired and really I want to say thank you. You made the point about gratitude. Thank you for taking the time and sharing your passion, your ideas, and experience. I've been doing this a long time. I think this is the best panel I've ever seen. So I hope you guys realize what the gift you just received. Take notes, go to that reception, ask questions. You can't pay for this kind of advice and experience. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Linda. And I agree for that. I agree. But I wanted to leave you with the last few things. Your mindset, that matters. Collaboration, sacrifice, having the right people. Sorry, I wrote really bad. Doctor's handwriting. Can you see that? It's rough. Having the right people, having the right circle, research. They didn't say some of these things, but it came out as well. Having proper records, finances, having a lawyer. When in the room, know the people, know about the people. Be passionate, know your why. Have a good mentor, find a good mentor. All right, push through, follow through. Have the stick-to-itiveness. Have strategy and systems in place. Build good relationships, maintain relationships. Know your business and know the supply chain. Know your resources. And also consider sustainability in your business. I think, that's a good summary of what this discussion was. We took a long time to really go at the meat of some of these things, and we have to thank them for being here. We value their time. We're really grateful. And now we have the opportunity to partake in some lovely snacks, apparently, but I'll hand over to Dwayne. Please, again, thank our wonderful panelists. Thank you so much.
Definitely. And so we thank the panelists and we ask them to come on down front for a nice photo op. And while I bring this forward, Venice has asked me to inform those participants who are here and did not register on her platform to please do so, as without that you will not be able to partake in any of her snacks. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, the snacks will be on the third floor, but don't leave just yet. Our panelists, we're going to ask them to come on down front. You can leave the bags up there. We have some nice gifts for you that we would love to get a photo quickly. Yes, we can have the mingling upstairs. Yes, please come on down. Nice deal. Excellent. Please just stand anywhere here. You got the memo, Prof. So Prof definitely will have a red one. Awesome. Nashana, you could have a red one as well. Randy, You want to be like, Randy. And then, yes, nice, nice. So, ladies in the middle. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Excellent. And these gifts are compliments of the Trust for the Americas, Organization of American States, and ILE. And big Kime. Kime said, we need branded items. And so, we thank Kime for that.
You know, sometimes people have to push people in their roles.
Quite so. Thanks to Kime for helping to make sure that we have branded items.
And say cheese now, everyone.
Thank you so much. And Randy, I hear you have a special, thank you so much, team. Those are for you. You certainly can take them back. Randy, I hear you have a special award for Smaddy. So I'm going to ask you at this point. Definitely. So for those of you who don't have your Brescia bag as yet or anything from Brescia, this is how things are delivered from Brescia. Quite nice, nicely packaged, and so on. Oh, what? Oh, not good me. Randy, you are here to make a presentation. This presentation is actually for Venice Wallace. She did not know that it's for Venice. Since January, Venice has been saying, you owe me, every month. And so this is the perfect way to say thank you. And Venice is actually celebrating a birthday next week. Whoa! Whoa! So nothing is written on it as yet because we never want to let the puss out the bag, but she will be able to tell Randy what she needs on it and so on to make sure that it's done. All right, another big round of applause for Venice for me, please. You know her, you interact with her. She's like left and right hand. And then Shanae, for those of you who knew Shanae before, Venice is the person who is in charge now and running and doing a fantastic job. Thanks so much, everyone. You're welcome, Venice. And so we're going to be going on the upstairs. It's the third floor. Those who are fit as a fiddle can take the stairs and leave the elevator for persons like me who are asthmatic and older. Thank you so very much. Third floor is where we'll have the snacks. Thanks again, everyone. Also, in the midst, you have some other professionals who you'll be able to network with and meet later on. There's somebody from HR, there's a project manager in the midst, there are lots of persons from Brescia. So please interact and mingle later on.